Now, my advice for upcoming politicians: avoid ADC, avoid PDP. Upcoming politicians, avoid ADC, avoid PDP. Now, if you want to build a political career in the future, join the APC or join the National Democratic Congress. Now, if you see APC, you see PDP. If you see PDP, you see Labour Party. If you see Labour Party, you see ADC. The APC has taken over these parties I just mentioned, except the National Democratic Congress. For future purposes, as a young politician, don't follow all these big politicians and start playing the kind of politics they are playing in the ADC. If you want to preserve your future as a politician, join the National Democratic Congress. Now, as Southerners, I have been advocating for restructuring, Southern presidency, and Southern dominance in politics, because these are the most important things for Nigeria. Nobody can fix Nigeria. Nobody can fix this country the way it is. The system, the foundation is destroyed. We need to restructure it. So every time I push for restructuring. Now, what is happening to the opposition? Does it benefit Southern Nigeria or it benefits Northern Nigeria? The opposition has been hijacked by Northern Nigeria. I repeat, the opposition has been hijacked by Northern Nigeria. So whatever happens to the opposition, that is the ADC, it would affect Northerners more than Southerners, because the greatest beneficiaries of that coalition, they are the North, disguising as Northern politicians to take away power from the South. That is the way I look at it. Let me come back again. I was at the bus stop and people were crying and were saying that the country is bad. Most Yorubas in that newspaper stand came out and they were abusing President Bola Tinubu. He's a failure. He's worse than Buhari. He's worse than Abacha. This and this. Since we have gotten Nigeria, every year, the next year is better than the past year. I mean, the next year is worse than the past years. Yar'Adua government, Jonathan government was past Yar'Adua government. Jonathan government, Buhari government was past Jonathan government. Tinubu government, Buhari government, better past Tinubu government. Every government becomes worse because you are building on a faulty foundation. Nigeria is not designed for development. When will I tell black man, make them listen to me? So if you are looking for someone that will fix Nigeria, my brother, you go wait until you enter grave. You enter grave. Don't let anybody use witchcraft and tell you that let us pray for Nigeria. If you don't pray for Nigeria, you are praying against yourself. All the people that have been praying for Nigeria, look at that Kwara church. They were praying for Nigeria. They will gaslight you and tell you that if you don't pray for Nigeria, you're not praying for yourself. If you hate Nigeria, you hate yourself. The people that love Nigeria, where are they today? Where are they today? How can you convince me that Nigeria can be fixed? Whoever. If we have P2B there, and his plan is to fix Nigeria and not restructure Nigeria, my brother, P2B will fail woefully. Most of the things you see the APC and the ruling party they are doing is because of this young man. Most of it is because of this young man called P2B. Now when you look at P2B, what he planned, what he said is about the people. We have the cabals, we have politicians in power that does not want the people to take the center stage. They don't want the people to have the priority of governance. Like I said, I already told you that Tinubu, when it comes to governance, he cannot give good governance because the type of governance Tinubu does is the one that will benefit his own people, his own allies, his Lagos boys before you. Look at his visit to Plateau State, Just look at the visit of the president. It tells you that the president no send you. If you're not getting the message now, you could just stay there. Crisis, insecurity could just kill you, throw away, destroy you, just die, throw away, die, go. If you don't give yourself break, that these politicians are not there for you. So anybody, any individual, any party that is going to restructure Nigeria, that is the party we are supporting. And it only takes a Southern president, irrespective of the person, to do such. If a Southern president, a Southern politician comes and is throwing towards the line of restructuring, me, I will support that president. Whether it is Wike, whether it is Akpabio, whether it is Peter Obi, whether it is Tinubu, because you cannot fix Nigeria. The politicians, the elite, they are using Nigeria to cash out. They use English and lies and manipulation and gaslighting and finish you now. Certain Nigerians now don't be one of the biggest movements for the whole world. Nigerians cannot come out to protest because the politicians have found a way to catch them, the elite. The real problem of Nigeria is class. Nigeria is a class society. The ruling class and the masses. You see, Tinubu enter. You know, we have the middle class before. Tinubu erased the middle class with in policies. Now, middle class, they organize protests. If you don't know, middle class. Where is the middle class? The middle class is barely surviving. How would they sponsor protests? Financially. You cannot go out and protest like that. It is say to protest go easy. You cannot go out and protest like that. Go and protest now without somebody sponsoring you. So we don't have the middle class anymore. So the problems we have in Nigeria is Man, nobody can solve that problem. US coming to Nigeria, insecurity, blah blah blah. US will come give us, come do this one. US there for Nigeria now. Tinubu is going. Let's talk about Tinubu's visit to Jos. You went to Jos, you were complaining that there's no light. I'm not going to stay here up to 10 minutes. You are now mocking the people. Only God. All those emotional statements. God, my God. They now know that they will put a CCTV camera all over Jos. Now today they enter government. Now today the insecurity and crisis is there for that Plateau state. They waited for a major attack. For crisis to escalate. These are people that are good in that. These are politicians that want to bring good governance to you. They are waiting for everything to go haywire before they come. Why not? See, Jos, Plateau and Jos, from Jonathan to Jari and the person that is here now, this crisis has been there. Now the solution you are profiling, which is hypocritical, you want to put CCTV everywhere now. Deploy 850 soldiers. That's how people do your stuff. Nigeria, you go see say, count from now till, because Tinubu go win the next election. I don't know. Except you implement things that look like restructuring. All these CCTV camera, all of them means nothing. You see, when the security agencies are complicit in insecurity, like they are part of the people, and making sure insecurity festers. For instance, now, there's a story in Oyo State. Bandits, Fulani terrorist bandits, tried kidnapping somebody. The kidnap failed. One of the person that escaped from the kidnapping mission was able to identify one of them. The indigents of the community went after that bandit, caught him, beat him, and handed the bandit over to the police. In no time, the police released the bandit. They felt that he was innocent. Look at the statement from the police. They felt that somebody that you are supposed to investigate and take to court. From the eyewitnesses, you got information. I know that this is a pandemic. Banditry, insecurity, killings is a pandemic that is destroying communities. Do you know what it is? A community that is booming with economy and everything. Bandits attack that community. That economy will go down. Maybe in Aba today, let's say area market or on the Champion market, you have like killings upon killings upon killings. Today they come, the bandits kidnap 200. Tomorrow they come, they kill 100. They do that for 3 months. Don't you think that area, the economic hub, I think on Champion market, economic hub, the economic activity would die down because of insecurity. Insecurity kills the life of communities. That the police will tell you that I don't think that this man is guilty. You can just see the mentality. So with all these things that you are putting, 850 soldiers, CCTV cameras, that will not stop. Restructuring will stop. So I've made my point why I'm looking at the Southern presidency and restructuring. So for you as a Southerner, the ADC, the crisis rocking ADC, does not really affect you, because whether it is ADC, whether it's APC, the same set of politicians that went through the criminal system, if they get close to power, my brother, if they get close to power, now the same thing. I have said it that from the time of Obasanjo till now, things get worse and worse and worse and worse by the day. So as a politician, avoid ADC, avoid PDP. If you want to have a political future, as a Southerner, nothing really concerns you. Waiting they go on in the ADC. We know that Tinubu is a tyrant. Tinubu has destroyed democracy. My own, I've said it. So far, Tinubu wants to do that kind of restructuring that will bring power closer to the people. Then we can talk about something. Because Tinubu, I have already said it, he has failed woefully. You see, whatever opposition, whatever coalition that is being brought together today, it is going to support the North. It's going to benefit Northern Nigeria. I've repeatedly said that if P2B becomes the vice presidential candidate of the ADC and they win elections, P2B will amount to nothing. No influence whatsoever. I am telling you, because these are Northerners. Now, the same people that want to remove APC, but the same people that sabotage the government of Jonathan, have you forgotten? They came together and mobilized and threatened Jonathan. Lawlessness. Somebody said we're going to form a parallel government. The toxicity of APC supporters under Jonathan cannot be compared. No other movement, no other supporters can rival that of the APC when it comes to being toxic. And the people that are in ADC now, most of them spearheaded it. I'm not giving brief for a Tinubu because I know Nigerians don't really understand that Nigeria needs a reset, not continuing with this kind of system. If you want to continue with this system, I will be your guest. Maybe God helping it. Obi wins election, and he agreed to running for 4 years. Obi wins election, and he changes Nigeria, in quotes, changes Nigeria. Don't you think that that time you go know your real enemy? When Obi wants to push for a bill that will benefit the people against the elite, that's why the elite will mobilize themselves, gang up against an Obi and make sure that they impeach him. Come out for there. I repeat, when we want to bring out policies that will benefit the people directly, that's why you see all these people that are saying they are senators, they are representing you, blah blah blah. Not that you don't say they hate you. The system hates you as a Nigerian. I was telling somebody, Tinubu says our no come. He first said Yoruba no come, then Emi no come. Now Yorubas, like 4 Yorubas were angry at the bus stop. APC supporters were there that were Yorubas. They could not speak, they could not say anything because the voices of other Yoruba guys, they were overwhelming. They said they're supposed to be carrying knife, they do this and that. Yoruba people, there's no truth in your mouth, blah blah blah. We are the problem of this country. From the mouth of the Yorubas, though, because they are angry, the situation is biting. You see, people don't understand what people are passing through. It is even worse. Like, there's some people, because they are benefiting from the government, because they are getting 1 or 2 things, they just believe that everybody's like them. The majority of Nigerians that are living from hand to mouth, if you're a breadwinner of your family, you can bear me witness. If you are living abroad and you're sending money home, just compare the amount of requests, the amount of pressure that is coming from home. Have they increased? That's the question. Have they increased? You now know that suffering will be here. People, they suffer big time. Tinubu, people expected. What do Nigerians expect? For government to make life better for them. Not for government to come and be telling them, we did this, we did this, we did that, and things are getting worse for them. We remove subsidy, and things are getting worse. What is the essence of remove subsidy? And we are going to benefit in long run, blah, blah, blah. Which corrupt people, within 2 days, Tinubu borrowed $11 billion. A government that cannot be accountable, that don't send you. So when Obi enter, I want to change Nigeria. Now I go see say, fixing Nigeria is a Herculean tax. It is just to restructure it. Although 2 of them are Herculean tax, but you have to restructure Nigeria for you to get the true picture of good development and good governance. You as a Yoruba, Tinubu say Yoruba no come. Awa no come. Now when they started saying Awa no come, they did not tell you the meaning of Awa. When they say democracy is a government of the people, by the people, for the people, and for the people. Now they did not tell you that democracy, that democracy. They did not tell you who the people are. They don't explain the people for you. The people, the Awa, are the people that are allies, the boys, the political partners, those that are in his political train, that he was benefiting from Nigeria. Most of these guys are now billionaires. You see, Nigeria don't get money, but somebody become president, he becomes one of the richest politicians in Africa. While Nigeria is bankrupt, their pockets are being filled, their bank accounts are being filled. Can't you see the truth and reality in all this we are saying? Can't you see that Nigeria cannot be fixed? You're not telling me that you are supporting Tinubu. If Tinubu does not, I've said it, if Tinubu does not restructure Nigeria, you see, most of these guys don't have to criticize the APC. Small criticize APC. Someone was threatening me. You are threatening me. Do you think, say, are they afraid to die? All die and I die. We die to... See, the Bible says, we live. Me, living is Christ. Me, dying is gain. So far, I die for standing for the truth, but it go hard for you. It go hard for you to kill me. Except you, whatever it is. Small criticize, I criticize Tinubu. Some people are getting angry. We'll fight. I still have the tweet. I had to bookmark and screenshot that statement from that person. So today, we'll do this and do this. If Tinubu does not restructure Nigeria, let me even give you update. Now, I've said it before, I'll repeat it. So that when I tell you, when it happened, I can't tell you, say, Shebi, I said this. You know, like say, I'm trying to do 1 or 2 things or elevate myself. If Tinubu does not restructure Nigeria, let me tell you what restructuring is. Restructuring is to make sure that power comes closer to the people, to the regions, to the states, to the ethnicities. Power comes closer. Control of resources comes closer. However I want to do it, let the job people have a sizable control of their resources. Let the people have power to, like the state police now. You know, states will be having power to, however, pilot the affairs of their security. So restructuring is happening in the area of security. That issue in Plateau State, let them implement state police. You go see some of this kind of thing they do. Internally, they go resolve her. Sharp. They go resolve her. Internally. Although in the first 4 or 5 years of state police, a little things here and there, they may be disagreeing. But when it gets to a matured phase, they would have to fix it. Insecurity will be fixed by state police, by restructuring. So restructuring is the people, the indigenous people are having power. How will you tell me in Delta State, communities that have 4 oil companies, many over 40 oil wells, the community no get light, no get good road. It's not that those people don't know that the community don't have light or doesn't have good road. They don't care. The system does not care about you. They can't help it. Some people are in Abuja and wherever they are seated, they don't care. So far, they are the ones owning the whatever, and they are making money. Nobody wants to develop the communities where they are getting all these things from. And you tell me, the corruption, the rot in the system will never get Nigeria to where it is expected to. Now, for instance, remove all the people where they for Senate. Carry random Nigerians, put for the Senate. In a matter of time, you get the same result because Nigerians are not different from their leaders. It's only a reset that will help us reset our mindset and brain. I'm telling you, a reset that will help us reset. We are claiming that we want good governance. We don't want good governance. We just want to be part of the people because some people will tell you that the government, the thing was spoiled long time ago. Maybe today, maybe Tinubu will take time. Those ones, I don't know how to yap them. I don't blame them. So if Tinubu does not destroy Nigeria, when the Fulani enter, there's no updates. There's nothing you want to do. There's not how you want to play this thing. Everybody don't catch your scope. These Southwest politicians, everybody don't catch their scope. If you know what people are saying, thank God for Abuja for annulling June 12th, for not allowing Abiola. Only God knows if you allowed Abiola. Only God knows if you have allowed Awolowo. Many people are just saying different things, regretting, making it a tribal thing. That is the mindset of some people in Northern Nigeria. Whether it is true or not, I'm just telling you so that you know. See, somebody, you and somebody are together. The person has a thought about you. There's the way he sees you. Even though he sees you in the wrong way, does not mean that you'll not be wise enough to understand that this person, he won't harm you. He doesn't think to harm you. Yeah, why will you say such? Why will you say you want to harm me? Can't you love me? When the person cut your neck, you will not be alive to start asking rubbish questions. So these are the mentality of these Northerners. Don't want to be following them to argue. And these people are stupid. Blah blah. You need to be conscious. Make sure that Tinubu is supported to the structure and bring power closer to the people. Because if it does not do so, they will make sure that Yorubas does not smell the presidency. Hello? And you see that Igbo and South politicians, they will gladly align with Northern Nigeria because politicians are politicians, foolish set of people, greedy set of people. Politicians are politicians. South East politicians, wait there for the APC, they go enter the Fulani party. South go enter, they go run the package against the Southwest. That is how it has been seen. Oh, you never Sabina. You don't know anything. You don't know anything. So, like I said, going back to our main discussion, National Democratic Congress is a party that you need to go and join. If you are really serious about making an impact, you are really serious about your political future. But if you are not serious, if you are still playing on the playing stage, if you are not really serious, you can do anyhow and stay in the ADC and watch as the game unfolds and watch as you waste out your time. Because if they invalidate the chairman of David Mark, all of that waiting for that ship, you are invalidated. We go help Nigerians.
Legally speaking, is INEC right to have said, we will not recognize you? We don't want to be locked in all of your legal and political contraption. We will wait until such a time that the court has made its verdict known in this matter, and therefore we shall return to status quo. Those who are questioning what is status quo, that those who are saying is what INEC saying right now. The ADC say we can no longer trust you as the umpire. Can you blame INEC for his decision from yesterday night?
Yeah, thank you very much, Ashon. From listening to your preview, the press conference from the ADC leadership, the press conference from my friend and brother Dumebi Kachuku, and then also listening to INEC position yesterday, one would clearly say that all is not well with both the ADC itself. Even though, to answer your question directly, I would say that INEC acted or traverse the order of the court. It acted outside the order of the court, but it is also clear that all is not well with the ADC. First and foremost, INEC in the first place, what was the status quo that was asked to be maintained by INEC? The status quo that was asked to be maintained by INEC is go back to the position you were before the war. The position you were before the war, was it that there was no leadership in the ADC at all? That's not true. That's not the position before the war. There was a leadership in the ADC, and then from the document we have seen, even though these are matters of contention, let's not even go into the documents because these are issues that are sub judice that are in court. But so that it doesn't look as if we're arguing, the court argument online. But let's look at it from the everyday perspective. Somebody said, I did not resign. So he went to court to say he did not resign, that he should be recognized consistently as a leader of a party. That's the position. That's courts. Please hold that I did not resign, that I still remain the leader. What that means is that truly there was indeed a resignation that he is now disputing. So that means there was a leadership in the party, whether a vacuum or that he had left and another leadership in place. So when the court now says, well, before we determine that your resignation one way or the other, please maintain the position you were before you came to court. What is the position they were? they were in. The position they were in was that he is saying that he did not resign. The other parties are saying he had resigned. So the position is that he had resigned before he went to court to dispute that resignation. So the position is that INEC ought to have recognized the David Marks faction. I don't know if you hear me, Shehu.
Go ahead, yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, the position is that INEC ought to have recognized the David Marks faction of
because INEC has said yesterday. Yeah, go ahead.
Saying that they will not recognize. INEC saying that they will not recognize any faction. It's not the order of the court. The order of the court is that recognize the faction that was in leadership before the war. That is, maintain status quo. Go back to the leadership that was in place before the court was approached. And the leadership that was in place, by virtue of the court, matter, the leadership that was in place by virtue.
All right, there are definitely a few legal encumbrances right here, and the reason why I called a lawyer who's got knowledge about political issues and some of the maneuverings that often happen in during electionary period here. So now, I know you've blamed INEC, and the explanation of INEC is very long. And there are those who will say, for a moment, can you also be in the shoes of INEC? And I'd like to draw your attention to a few things that INEC has said. Because INEC will say, we were the one who recognized David Mark in the first place. Give us some credit. But look at the circumstances that have pushed us to recognizing or to saying, we will stay away from this matter. And as a lawyer, you know, Mr. Oshoma, INEC received a demand of enforcement, a court document from a Summit Law Chamber representing Nafiu Bala Gombe, requesting the commission to stop recognizing Senator David Mark or Rauf Aregbesola as the national chairman or secretary. On the other hand, INEC said he was in a receipt of a letter from the law firm of Suleiman Usman SN and Co. saying notice of pending proceedings before the Federal High Court and cautioned against any purported recognition of Nafiu Bala Gombe. So David Mark's side of the divide had a court document from their lawyers on INEC. On the other hand, there is another court document from Nafiu Bala saying you cannot recognize. So INEC is left in between. There are different court papers that have arrived on the table of INEC. And I said, look, we look confused right here. Rather than get enmeshed and trying to have worked against any order of court, let us say away until such that matter is being resolved by a court of law. Can you blame INEC as a lawyer?
Yeah, Sean, once again, like I said, ADC is also without blame. I agree completely that they are not without blame. Because if the ADC had put their house in order, certainly there would be court cases. If they had put their house in order, if they are not going to a crisis, certainly there would be court orders and letters flying left and right. So that also must be said. That what I see here, it's I think some persons in the ADC were not properly settled, because I don't see a situation where somebody will resign and then turn around to say, I did not resign properly. Maybe that person was not properly settled. The arrangement that was on the table, or the agreement that was reached before his resignation was not executed after the man had resigned. And the man said, well, no, you cannot just push me out, even though you said I should resign and I would be settled this way. And so I also blame the ADC, because it is clear that in their pursuit of power, in their pursuit for an alternative arrangement, they also didn't put their house in order. The belief is that there's this belief that once you are in ADC, everybody in ADC had one mind. Certainly, there are some people who definitely are not satisfied with the internal crisis and would also want to throw spanners in the work. You cannot blame those people also. So those people will look for alternative to work with and ensure that they throw spanners in the work. But what I am saying is that once this order came, INEC has said, yes, we recognize David Mark first. So in that recognition of David Mark, and somebody, after you recognize David Mark and somebody went to court, mind you, the court did not grant an interlocutory injunction or an interlocutory relief against David Mark to say the recognition, his recognition should be stopped. The court only say, look, parties, I cannot grant you that order to restrain Gombe. I also cannot de-recognize David Mark, or I cannot recognize him fully. But just go back and maintain the position you were. And so we also have to look at the position they were. What was the position they were? You had recognized David Mark, continue to recognize him until the court decide one way or the other. But for also the ADC, there is need for introspection. There's need for ADC to look inward. Who are those disgruntled elements within the party? What is the problem? How do you resolve? How do you settle them? How do you bring them together? It is not enough to just keep blaming APC, even though we know in Nigeria that once you are in the party in power, you also want to, decimate the opposition. You want to ensure that you are the only one who is going to the election without a credible opposition. You remember during Obasanjo's tenure, Obasanjo fought Atiku, his vice president, because he was interested in 2003 election. At a point, Atiku was a panel of inquiry was even set up that indicted Atiku. During Jonathan's time, Tinubu was charged before the Code of Conduct Tribunal. Marilyn Oga, the DFS spokesperson, acted as an arm or extension of the ruling party. And also the tendency for APC to want to look for disgruntled people who are not satisfied to also desecrate and decimate ADC. But it is for the ADC to ensure that those people who are not happy, who are disgruntled, do not even have a place at the table in the party. This was the same crisis that drove them out of the SDP. They saw the crisis, they saw that they were internal wrangling. As we are talking about the case of Gambo, there is also the case of Dumebi, who is also there. Remember, Dumebi Kachuku consistently had been at loggerhead with Ralph Wosu, that Ralph Wosu failed to conduct convention for 16 years. I remember talking about this matter in 2022, just before the 2023 general election. Another question you would ask Shehu is that these members who went to court, they are not members of the APC. They did not just move into the ADC yesterday. They were in ADC before this new entrant into ADC. So clearly, it means that they were properly not taken care of. It means that they were properly not settled. So while we are blaming INEC, while the ADC is also looking for who to blame, there's need for us as a people, Nigerians, we should learn to take responsibility. The ADC should also look inward and blame itself for putting itself in the place that they find themselves here.
And interestingly, Boros, you know what the APC had said to the ADC? Because they had promised them that we will pour Sansan into your gari. Maybe it's this sand now that is in their gari that is now making trouble. But the APC said that the ADC's unwillingness to take responsibility for its miserable failure to follow due process order, its internal affairs, and manage its self-inflicted crisis makes ADC grossly unfit as a platform to be taken seriously by Nigerians. Well, let me remove APC because I like not to put APC into the mix of the ADC because I believe that they are very experienced politicians in ADC. The question, and I was asking them this question, I know of 13 different court cases over the leadership of ADC, and I was wondering, is it a good place to go for you to go? It's too dangerous politically. When you have court cases all over Nigeria, in Gombe, Adamawa, Zamfara, Lagos, everywhere on the street of Nigeria, court cases flying left, right, and center, and you are going into an election on that kind of platform. And guess what? There is a document flying around. Whether or not Nafiu Bala, whether or not he resigned, this is what the court said. Don't forget, Mr. Liberos. And I called you because of the legality of this matter. Because look, there are those who are very skilled in using the courtroom to fight you. Be careful of those kind of people. Yes. And if ADC has found itself in this quagmire, maybe they need to start looking for another platform. And you see the reason why.
It is too late.
Now, you know what?
It is too late.
There is a court of appeal dismissal of Senator David Mark's interlocutory appeal. And there's an issuance of a preservatory order. And in that ruling, the court says status quo antebellum. What is status quo antebellum? Now, Nafiu Bala is saying that if the court has said go back to status quo antebellum, it meant that he was the only existing vice chairman of the party, and naturally he should be made the chairman of the party. He filed a suit. He was seeking an injunction to restrain the Mark group from parading themselves, dealing or continue to deal with INEC as national chairman. This is purely, yes, it's a political matter, but a legal issue with a lot of technicalities involved. Now, my fear, liberals, is whether or not ADC can be a viable platform with all of this problem. In time, there is going to be primary in May. They're supposed to hold convention this month. Isn't that a little disaster for that party?
So, like I had said, why we blame INEC? If we blame INEC, we should also blame ADC. Why we are blaming INEC for acting as an interested party in the matter? Because when court says maintain status quo And then rather than maintain status quo, you now say, you know what, I will destroy the existing status quo. I will ensure that I don't even recognize you people. And it is safe. It is very convenient to say, well, I don't want to, INEC is trying to play safe. But the court did not ask INEC to play safe. The court just told parties to maintain status quo. But that said, also, the ADC as a party, Chair, you talked about 13. Some persons have said that there are more than 13 cases already, even before now. There were, excuse me. There were few cases in court that I remember between the ADC, between Dumebi Kachukwu and the ADC, between Dumebi Kachukwu and Rafu Wosu, before the defection into the ADC. Those cases were already in existence. So if you will say that the APC is using people, didn't you already prepare the ground for the APC to find people to use within your party? I think that the reason that took them away from the SDP or the reason that took them away from ADA is the same reason they ought to have moved very far from the ADC and moved into maybe the party that Senator Dixon moved into, that is without so many problems. Because we know Nigerian political parties, they all have issues, but you select the one that is with fewer issues. Because knowing fully well that your opponent will always look for more within you, be disgruntled, be dissatisfied within you, to decimate you, to run you out of office, to run you out of town. And the ADC prepared a fertile ground for the APC, if that's all they want to use. They prepared a fertile ground when you have as a party in existence with about 13 or 15 cases in court over leadership tussle. Then you couldn't even settle those leadership tussle. And mind you, apart from that, there are some other persons who are within the party who felt that this party, they had slaved for it, they had consistently worked for it, and other persons just came and took over the leadership and they were not settled. Those persons will collect settlement from anybody to ensure that they also approach the court. In the days to come, I think ADC, first and foremost, before they can confront INEC and confront the APC, they should first and foremost do an in-house cleaning, an in-house audit of all the cases that are in court and find a way, one way or the other, to resolve them. Unlike the APC in 2014, the APC was an amalgam of different interests and they came together to form a new party altogether. But in this case, it is not the same. And I doubt if they would have been able to form a new party, because with the way INEC is behaving, it would have been impossible. But I think that they ought to have looked for a lesser evil, a party without so many, fractions and problems. That they would have been able to manage their crisis. But that said, I think INEC should recognize the David Mark faction while they are fighting all their battles.
Thanks so much, Liberal Socialman, for your time and sharing your legal perspective and some wisdom. I'm particularly very pained because what makes the race very interesting is when it's competitive. I mean, not when only one party stands in the middle of the ballot and you're looking for the rest of the political party. But I mean, when some of us talk, it looks like our mouth is smelling. Yeah, we've been on this ground for a while, and you thought that there are a lot of experienced men in the ADC. They should have seen the devil in some of the issues that have been raised over the past months. But we get one of them talking tonight about the state of the ADC. Particularly, it looks like one of the only hopes of opposition going into 2027. If this hope is dashed, we are doomed, democratically speaking.